Hi there, my name is Lee Arnold, and like you, I'm a real estate investor. And I got started in this business by buying bank-owned REOs. And from there, I kind of segmented into buying at foreclosure auction. And I bought a lot of properties at auction. I've worked with a lot of investors and helped them go to auction and acquire properties there as well. But there was something about the auction that just really started bothering me. Okay. First of all, you got to know this. At a foreclosure sale, there's two types of bids. Okay. There's something called a full debt bid. And this is where the homeowner, the full amount that's being bid or the opening bid, it's everything the homeowner owes the bank. That's called a full debt bid. Now, in one of our prior segments, I talked about pre-foreclosure equity deals, and it's those full debt bids that you pursue in that strategy. But for this particular segment, I want to talk to you about the other type of bid in an auction, and that is what's called a specified bid. Now, the way a specified bid works is this. Let's say that we've got a homeowner that owes $220,000 on a house that you and I both know is only worth $180,000 in its current condition. Well, the bank knows it's worth $180,000 as well, and the last thing they want to do is end up with this property back. So they will open the bidding, even though it's worth $180,000 and they're owed $220,000, they will open the bidding at like $60,000. Now, look at the spread here. $220,000 is what they're owed, $180,000's value, $60,000's the opening bid. This is called a specified bid. Now, what started really bothering me at the foreclosure auction is this. If the bank is willing to take $60,000, and truly that's what the bank is willing to take because there's no guarantee that an opening bid of $60,000 means anybody's going to buy it. But even if somebody shows up and bids $1 over, which is the minimum requirement to bid at a foreclosure sale anyway, I could buy that house for $60,001 and that's all the bank would get. But here's the problem. When a bank opens the bidding at this low specified amount of $60,000, there's a very good chance that I'm going to be competitively bidding against 10 or 15 other investors at the auction. So here's what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted the ability to buy this house for the specified bid of $60,000, but I wanted to do it in an environment where I was the only bidder. And that's what led me to short sales. Now guys, a short sale is nothing more than a specified bid at a foreclosure auction months in advance. You see, in most markets, a foreclosure process can take anywhere from 90 days to 180 days. And in judicial markets like Florida and Georgia and much of the Northeast or the eastern side of the country, you are dealing with a judicial foreclosure process where the foreclosure could literally take 12 to 18 months before it ever arrives at the auction. Now, you could wait for it to show up at the auction, or you could get a little bit more creative, be a little bit more proactive, and go after the deal before it gets to auction. Now, here's what's great. In the foreclosure process around the country, in pretty much every city in America, foreclosure begins 90 days prior to the sale. And from the beginning of that, they have to post some type of a notice, usually a lis pendens filing, which is Latin for lien pending. This is the bank suing the homeowner to regain possession of the real property. Or in a non-judicial foreclosure market, where they begin it with a notice of default filing. Whether it's a lis pendens filing or a notice of default filing, for you, the investor, this is notification that this property is in trouble. And if something doesn't happen between now and then, it's going to auction. Now, here's where we come in as the short sale angel. Interestingly enough, a lot of homeowners have no clue of the process that I just described to you. So you now that are armed with this information can actually come in, swoop in as the angel or the ally to the homeowner and create a win-win situation where not only can we help the homeowner avoid losing the house to foreclosure, but we also can buy that property for potentially $60,000 at the specified bid price without competitively bidding against all of these other investors. Now, the strategy is called short selling. And this is not a new strategy. You've probably heard it. It's been a buzzword for years, ever since the recessionary period of 2008. But many investors now are beginning to shy away from it, thinking that it's an outdated strategy or that it doesn't work anymore. And I'm here to tell you that they are dead wrong. Think about this. Here's some pros and cons of short sales. With a short sale, there's a pretty good chance we can help a homeowner stay in their home longer by working with us than if they don't. We can often help a homeowner lower their payments through modification. We can stop the foreclosure. In some cases, we can increase the equity that the homeowner has in the home. We can inspect the interior. It requires no rehab. Because we're buying it before it goes to auction, we don't have to have all cash, which means we can get leveraged financing through private parties, or we can use bank financing. We can charge higher than market rent because it's still their home in the event that we're going to keep the homeowner in it, which is not legal in all markets. So check with legal counsel before you pursue the strategy of keeping the homeowner there. And the tenant pays all of your mortgage. So if we buy it at $60,000 and we decide to rent it out, we put a tenant in there who's paying more than our payment on the $60,000, which gives us positive monthly cash flow. Now, the cons with short sales are no different than any other type of property that you might buy, and that is you put a tenant in there who stops paying you. Or you put a tenant in there who not only doesn't pay you, but they also trash the property, and to make matters worse, they could abandon the property. But understand that the list of pros in a short sale is substantially longer than the list of cons. Now, the short sale deal, let's say that a homeowner has financed the property to the hilt and now owes more than it's worth. The market slump has affected the property's worth, putting the property underwater, and the homeowner owing more than they could possibly get for the property in an all-out sale. Now, at this point, there's no equity in the property for the homeowner, and the lender agrees to take a discount on this over-encumbered property, which means for you, instant equity. Now, here's some myths about short sales that I think you need to be aware of so you can realize that they are indeed myths and they're not worth listening to. Number one, they are too hard. Secondly, they take too long. Or third, the return is not worth the time and the energy. Or number four, a bank says no in the final word, or the ninth hour, the bank says no. Or they take a trained negotiator, which you may not be, or you don't have the time to be, or they just don't work anymore. The age of short sales is over. So are short sales really dead? Well, I don't believe so. If you look at the market from 2006 to 2012, more short sale deals were being done than regular sales. 68% of all home sales during that period of time were short sales or distressed sales in some way, shape, or form. The market is now turning, guys. We are moving past that, but short sales always happen. People are always getting divorced. People are always losing their job. People are always moving out of state. People are always getting job transferred. People are always dying. And as a result, there are always deals, regardless of a high market or low market. There are always situations and circumstances where somebody owes more than the house is worth and the house is in horrible condition. And this is a perfect environment to get involved in short sales. So, banks are not dead. You simply need to understand the rules of engagement. Now, the rules of engagement are what I'm going to cover for you in segment 2 of how you can be a short sale angel. So go there now and watch the rest of the story.